I don't think it's a conspiracy theory. I think that's obvious. Do a little homework. Dillon Gabriel broke a college record for most college starts or something, right? Like, it's just an insane number compared to Shedeur. So Shedeur eventually is more talented. But the other reason Shedeur is going to get a chance in Cleveland, make it or break it, all you have to do is look at the current 2026 NFL draft order. For the radio audience, I've put in the top 12.
Stop everything right now. Sports media just got flipped upside down in real time. Colin Cowherd went on record and apologized out loud with no escape route, and it all happened right after Shedeur Sanders stepped onto the field and straight up erased every doubt, every joke, every sideways take with his play. The narrative didn't just crack, it shattered. Big egos wobbled, hot takes caught fire, and suddenly the loudest critics were scrambling for cover. What did Shedeur do to force one of his biggest doubters to walk it back on national platforms? This wasn't a feel-good comeback story. This was a takeover. The apology wasn't the headline, it was the aftershock. For a split second, the sports world froze. Everything paused, blinked twice, and checked the system for errors, because something almost never seen just happened. The kind of rare moment usually reserved for solar eclipses, perfect preseason predictions, or a ref actually admitting they missed a call. A certain loud, confident, never wrong until proven wrong personality suddenly realized the ground beneath him was quicksand. And the reason? Shedeur Sanders casually turned the football field into a public courtroom, presented the evidence, and rested his case with snaps and scores. This wasn't a breakout game. This was a full character arc. No speeches, no subtweets, no clapping back online. He just showed up, handled business at an elite level, and let everybody else scramble to rewrite the script they swore was already finished. All week long, the noise was wild. You heard it everywhere. The arm isn't real. The competition doesn't count. The hype is manufactured. The confidence is borrowed, and the last name is doing the work. Apparently, confidence is only allowed if it's quiet, humble, and paired with an apology for believing in yourself. But Shedeur didn't get that memo. Or maybe he read it, laughed, and used it as fuel before kickoff.
For the Browns, I mean, to me, he's better than Dillon Gabriel. So I do think it puts into question, like, you drafted Dillon Gabriel in the third round. Because Shedeur, the touchdown he threw to Judy, now granted, the Titans, he's wide open. That drive throw, like, I don't even think Dillon Gabriel can make it. And there is just some natural playmaker to him. I mean, the touchdown he threw to the tight end in the corner, like, that's a Colorado-type play.
Yep.
And he does just bring you some more explosive plays.
Or to get this kid, he's 6'5", big arm, wholesome. He's leading Indiana to the Big Ten championship. So Shedeur's going to get a run because Mac Jones, Kyler Murray's going to get paid by somebody. Daniel Jones getting paid by the Colts. So, this whole thing about Shedeur Sanders, I would take Shedeur Sanders because he's a fifth-round pick and he's basically free.
Then the game started, and those takes aged fast, like milk sitting on a hot dashboard. The ball came out clean. Decisions were sharp, pockets collapsed, and somehow it didn't matter. Throws landed exactly where they needed to be, while defenders could only stand there and watch. Drives didn't stall, momentum didn't vanish, and excuses quietly started stretching in the bullpen. By halftime, every snap felt like a rebuttal footnote. By the fourth quarter, you could feel the shift. Keyboards hovered, drafts got deleted, sentences started with "to be fair," and what I really meant was, the performance didn't beg for praise. It didn't wink at the camera or celebrate early. It just stacked results until denying it became exhausting. At some point, disbelief turned into cardio. And then came the apology moment. Not dramatic, not emotional, no background music, just a subtle tone change that said everything without saying much. We may need to revisit earlier conclusions. Sports media's version of quietly trying to put toothpaste back in the tube. That's the real beauty of it. Shedeur never asked for it, never acknowledged it. Belief was called arrogance, right up until the numbers showed up. Then suddenly it's leadership, poise, and let's talk about the haters. And let's talk about them, not the casual skeptics, the committed ones, the film room philosophers who watched 2 clips and decided they had the full story, the ones who speak in absolutes, forgetting that nothing ages faster than certainty. They had charts, confidence, and strong voices. Now they've got explanations, lots of them. It's never that the player is good, it's always the defense, the scheme, the moment, the phase of the moon. Anything except the obvious truth that sometimes a quarterback quarterback can actually play. Meanwhile, Shedeur kept doing the most annoying thing possible for critics: improving, adjusting, leading. That's the part that hurts the most.
What he showed in this game today, his resiliency, bringing that football team back, and doing what he had to do today, I think was a great step in terms of his.
And if this is the baseline, Shedeur's in a good position as a young man.
Guess what happened?
When?
Yesterday in Cleveland, Ohio.
Oh,
Shedeur Sanders got better.
a little bit.
Yeah. Everybody makes fun of him, saying, just look what happens if they get more time. Don't just throw me in the middle of a game. Give me some time.
But, like, you took another quarterback who clearly isn't even close to as talented as this guy, and your organization is, like, the Browns are a bad organization.
Yeah.
For a team that has some good players, they sure lose a lot of games. And then a story's coming out, they're bringing Deshaun Watson back.
Oh,
You know, it's like, what are we doing? I think that Shedeur is, I mean, at this point in time, it's going to be so loud that he's going to have to start the rest of the season.
Yeah.
He should, but it's like, clearly Stefanski was never on board with
That's going to judge Shedeur after this opportunity. That's bullshit. You
That's
can't do
BS,
that.
man. Don't judge
And
this
also, we've
kid
given
off of
Dylan
this.
6 games. So even if the first couple
Yeah.
of Shedeur aren't great, like, you've got to give him the same opportunity
Yeah.
that you've given Dylan Gabriel before you compare the two and say, oh, he had a bad half.
One
Well, that's
game
not any
ain't
better.
enough. I mean,
because
but-
I'm with the Keep. You could see flashes. When I watch a game, I look and say, all right, maybe it didn't go great, especially as a rookie, but I need to see a throw or two where I go, I can work with
Or
that.
escape
I can
or
win
two,
with that.
You know what I'm saying? Or,
Yeah.
or
The
just,
pocket
just
presence,
some pocket
the eye.
presence, just
Yeah.
something, you know what I'm saying? And shit.
You can't dismiss growth without admitting you missed it, and missing it stings more than being wrong, especially when your job is supposed to be seeing everything. This performance didn't just quiet the critics, it forced rewrites, revisions, and uncomfortable honesty, and that's way louder than any apology. Forced context, forced humility, and humility is basically a foreign language in sports media. It's not taught, it's learned the hard way, usually after a Sunday goes completely off script. What makes this whole situation even wilder is how predictable it actually was. The buildup, the doubt, the skepticism, and then Shedeur playing like someone who already knew how this would end. That's the scary part. The calm confidence, the quiet control. That doesn't fit neatly into debate shows or argument segments. Calm excellence ruins manufactured drama, and now look at the shift. Suddenly the conversation isn't can he, it's what's next. It's ceilings, futures, potential.
Shedeur's likable. He's selling merch. He's selling tickets. It's fascinating. It's talked about. There's no other reason to talk about the Browns. But if you go look at the draft order, supply cannot keep up with demand. And the NIL now, these kids like Dante Moore and Ty Simpson can make $4 million winning 11, 12 games in college. Why come out and get a nosebleed and get your brains beaten in? So the Giants will not draft a quarterback.
What he's
That's some
doing.
confidence right there.
Guess what Shedeur is doing? He's giving his team a chance to win. Unbelievable, man. He scores 29, and the defense against Tennessee can't do a darn thing to stop him. I mean, this defense that has been lights out against so many other opponents, San Francisco being one that just leaps to mind recently. They didn't win, but boy. The Browns watch Shedeur.
And I definitely think it's the most important for Shedeur Sanders. You look at the 4 opponents that they have, and 3 of them currently right now are in a slot to make the playoffs. When you look at the Chicago Bears, the Buffalo Bills, and the Pittsburgh Steelers, but a guy in Shedeur Sanders who has given everyone on this roster hope. And J-Mac, when you have a quarterback that can go out there and throw the football downfield and throw for over 300 yards and have touchdown passes, something that you are foreign to seeing this entire season, it gives you a sense of hope that you guys have a chance every.
Funny how fast narratives level up once denial gets tired. Yesterday it was skepticism, today it's curiosity, tomorrow it's hype with a disclaimer of course. But let's be real for a second, not everyone arrived at this conclusion the same way. Some people took the scenic route, some took detours, some acted like they were always headed here. That's fine, the scoreboard doesn't care, and neither does Shedeur. The apology still wasn't the headline, the performance was. The apology was just the side effect, the receipt, the quiet confirmation that the loudest voices usually need the most proof. And here's the part they really don't like. This story isn't over. This wasn't a season finale. This was an episode that cut the music early because something bigger is coming. More games, more pressure, and more eyes watching closely. Because once doubt cracked open and reality kicked the door off the hinges, the panic spread. Not loud panic, quiet panic, a pause here, a glance there, that special hesitation that only shows up when confidence realizes it left the stove on.
Seahawks this week. Let's go to the Cleveland Browns now. Shedeur Sanders had a really good performance on Sunday in a losing effort, unfortunately, against the Titans. In his third start of the year, Shedeur threw for over 350 yards. He had 3 touchdowns while running in another. Head coach Kevin Stefanski rewarded the rookie's performance by naming him the starting quarterback for the rest of the season. That's 4 games left. So, is Cleveland, though, the right place for Shedeur to continue his journey in his career? Kmart's back with us now. Kmart, you can go first. What do you think?
Honestly,
you spent a lot of time there, girl.
He was the offensive rookie of the week, and we're doing flips and saying he's the guy. But I have had no indication from anyone in Cleveland or publicly from the Cleveland front office or coaching staff that they believe Shedeur is the guy. So yes, these games matter, and it's good for Shedeur. But I don't know if Shedeur lights it up if he's necessarily going into the offseason as the firm number 1 in Cleveland. Guess what? That's okay, because I believe there would be a massive trade market for a guy on a 5th-round salary.
And the Bills, etc.
Shedeur played really good this past weekend. And I don't care the opponent. He did a lot of the things in an improved way that were his flaws or warts. And let's live in the hypothetical world where I don't think he's one of the quarterbacks under the most pressure just for this week. I think it's for the next month. I think that Shedeur has the opportunity here. If he plays this next month like he did this past Sunday, I think he makes Cleveland go, we're not going to move up.
Suddenly, everyone became very interested in nuance, very respectful of context, very eager to explain how development isn't linear. Like that sentence hadn't been ignored for months. Nothing actually changed though. Not the film, not the stats, not the competition. What changed is simple. Shedeur stopped being theoretical. No more hypotheticals, no more ifs. He became a real-time problem. And it's easy to critique an idea. It's way harder to critique a quarterback converting 3rd downs while pressure is in his face like it owes him money. And let's be honest, the funniest part isn't even the apology adjacent energy, it's the sudden discovery of patience. Every incomplete pass used to mean something was wrong. Now mistakes are learning moments. Growth is expected. Progress is encouraged. Amazing how winning upgrades vocabulary. Shedeur didn't just play well, he controlled the environment. That's what rattles people. A quarterback who dictates pace, commands respect, and looks completely unbothered doing it breaks evaluation systems. No forced hero ball, no desperation throws dressed up as confidence, just calculated aggression. The kind that says, I know what you're about to do, and I'm cool with it. Defensive adjustments didn't scare him, they annoyed him, and that difference matters. Meanwhile, the commentary machine scrambled to catch up. Suddenly, everyone remembered that leadership isn't always loud, swagger doesn't cancel preparation, and believing in yourself isn't a crime unless it messes up the narrative. It was a masterclass in selective memory, and the haters, they had to get creative, because silence would have looked like surrender. So the invisible asterisks came out. Sure, the stats were there, but what about the defense? Sure, the reads were clean, but what about the system? When takes fall apart, excuses always show up fast. Check. Next week it's decision making. Check again. Then it's leadership, then toughness, then clutch moments. It's like watching someone speed run skepticism in real time. The apology moment didn't feel dramatic because it couldn't. Drama would mean surprise, and deep down, nobody was truly shocked. They just weren't ready to admit they underestimated him. The timing matters here. Being wrong early hits harder than being wrong late. Early mistakes live longer and get replayed more often. What Shedeur did was expose how fragile some opinions really are when they're built on vibes instead of substance. Vibes don't survive pressure. They fall apart once a quarterback starts winning chess matches snap after snap, and the pressure wasn't just on the field. It lived in every pregame segment, every debate desk, every pause before someone finished a sentence. Playing with expectations is one thing. Playing while people quietly root for your downfall is something else entirely. That kind of weight has ended plenty of careers before they even got started. The funniest shift was how fast the label changed. One moment it was overrated, the next it was intriguing. Not elite, not crowned, just intriguing. That safe middle ground where critics can breathe without fully admitting they were wrong. Sports media's version of saying we'll see while packing up an argument. But here's the issue with intriguing. It invites more watching, more attention, more chances for the same thing to happen again. And if this performance proved anything, it's that Shedeur is comfortable being watched. The spotlight didn't shrink him. It clarified him. He didn't rush his reads. He didn't speed up when things got messy. He didn't chase highlights for clips. He let the game come to him and then calmly broke it down piece by piece. That's not hype. That's control. And control is uncomfortable for people who thrive on chaos. Chaos is easy to spin. Calm excellence is not. You can't manufacture outrage when someone refuses to melt down. When there's no panic, no spiral, no implosion, the content machine starts sweating. There's nothing exaggerated to grab onto, so now the conversation circles the obvious without landing on it. There will be tougher defenses, bigger stages, louder critics, higher stakes, and with each new level, the takes will reset, waiting to be tested again. The irony is obvious. The same people who doubted him will eventually say they always saw the potential, that they were just waiting for consistency. Sports history is full of that revision. This is the moment that gets replayed, the pivot point, the game where confidence stopped being theoretical and became undeniable. As the season moves forward, the funniest part won't be the touchdowns or the wins. It'll be the weekly recalibration, the careful wording, the cautious praise, the slow acceptance that maybe this quarterback is exactly who he thought he was. No announcement needed, no speech required, just another week where the field does the talking and everyone else adjusts their volume. And if this performance taught anything, it's that loud critics don't vanish when they're wrong. They just get quieter, more careful, more reflective, at least until the next moment uncertainty becomes convenient again. The story keeps moving, the pressure keeps rising, the takes keep loading, and somewhere another opinion is already getting uncomfortable. Shedeur doesn't need the last word because the game already delivered it for him. He didn't chase validation, and he definitely didn't wait for permission. He just kept stacking evidence until the conversation ran out of exits. That's the most uncomfortable kind of dominance. The calm kind. The kind that doesn't argue back, doesn't explain itself, and doesn't flinch. So here's the real question. Was this just one perfectly timed statement game, or was this the moment the entire narrative finally broke beyond repair? And if this is only the beginning, how uncomfortable is this season about to get for everyone who already ran out of excuses? Drop your take in the comments because this conversation is far from over. If you're seeing the shift in real time, hit that like button so more people see it. Share this with someone who still doubts what's happening, and subscribe if you want to be here when the next chapter forces yet another rewrite.